Hi. Um, I've been thinking about doing this for a while, and I really want to do it now that the year is over. But I just wanted to make like a recap video. So I did. I don't want to like. I'm in the car and it's cold as shit. Sorry. I don't want to like give the I don't want to give the impression that like I'm like disingenuine with this, but I did prepare a script, cause as you can see, if I didn't, my fucking ADD brain, like, we will be here for like half an hour with me looking off into the distance like an idiot. So I just wanted to get that out of the way before I see a comment that's like, this is clearly scripted. Like, yeah, it's like for both of our sakes. So anyways, let's get started. So by a very, very large margin, this is without a doubt, as I'm sure it's probably been the same with all of you guys, the most insane, surreal, changing year of my life. And somehow, at the exact same time, it was the best year of my life by far and the worst year of my life by far. And, well, I think this year will definitely have more than a few long-lasting negative effects on me, and probably some traumas I'll have to unpack and heal over further into the future. The positives of the year definitely outweigh and are things that I'll always cherish. So I want to take time now that we're at the end of this, like, really crazy-ass year, important year for Hundhuset for sure, to have, like, a real connection with you guys. Because, I mean, between the random shitpost videos on here and my occasional releases of music and my non-stop chaotic Twitter feed, it's probably hard to tell, like, what's actually going on with me as a person. So, like, I just want to recap the year I had. You know, both to keep it, like, cataloged for myself, since my memory is horrible and it fails me as time goes on, and just to keep my fans, like, this incredible community that's started to be born this year, just updated with what's going on. So to start January, this month feels like it was absolutely from another year, and part of me refuses to believe I'm still in the same year as it. It feels like it was like a lifetime ago. And at least emotionally speaking, it was a lifetime ago. I started out this year, I was going full drive into the first Mail.pog album, which is also the first fully original work of art, album, music, anything that I've ever made. And, I mean, I feel like I'm like my own biggest fan at times, and I love listening to that album, but it's crazy to think that I despised this album for a long time. The album as a whole took like 9 months to make, and in the period from January to early March, I literally worked like non-stop, perpetually tweaking things, mixing, mastering, adding things, taking things away, obsessively trying to make it as good as I possibly could. I burned out so hard by the time it was done, it took me until summer to enjoy listening to it. In January, I also went to my first FurCon, which was an insane experience. So I drove like 3 hours up to Oklahoma City in order to see Goji do a rave. It was amazing. It was so much fun, and I still genuinely cannot believe it happened. It was the first time I ever even left my city alone. I have really overprotective parents, and I'm amazed that the whole thing worked out in the end. I remember a few weeks before, when I was just like a big fan of Goji and nothing more, I had like a crazy idea. Something in my subconsciousness was telling me that I should try to hang out with them, even though they had no idea who I was. And then I remember they tweeted something about looking for vocalists for a song, so I sent them my SoundCloud, and they responded that they liked my stuff, and they followed me. I was walking on campus late at night when this happened, and when I saw the notification, I literally started, like, sprinting full speed down the sidewalk in the dark, in the middle of the night, like, uncontrollably giggling on campus. I probably looked fucking insane to the couple of people that saw me, but, so anyways, I was like, hey, I know I messaged them, now they're following me, and I was like, hey, I mean, I know you're trying to cut down on expenses and save money. I mean, if you want, I'd be down to, like, get you to dinner if you want to hang out before the show or something. I was, like, horrified, and I knew it wouldn't go anywhere, but, you know, if you never ask anything, then it'll always be no. And it fucking worked somehow. They were down for it. And so, finally, it was the day of the con. I picked them up from their hotel, and we ended up going to this really good pizza place in this super gentrified, like, $7 for a beer type shit part of town called Bricktown. And the parking was like half a mile away from the restaurant. So I just have this memory of me, like, freezing my fucking ass off, power walking in the middle of the night, like, in a city that I've never been to, next to, like, one of my favorite musicians. Like, what the fuck? I just try and get to our car so we don't, like, die in the cold. And it was such a fun night. But, like, since then, Gochi has become, like, one of my closest friends, and I still can't believe, thinking back, like, how we met, and how there was a time when there were just a musician that I liked. It is wild, and I'm really grateful for that experience. Later in January, I wanted to cover, near the end, I wanted to cover one of my favorite 100 Gex songs. So over the course of, like, 3 hours in the middle of the night, one of those, like, rare ADHD moments where your brain hyperfixates on, like, the right thing, and you go into ultimate production machine mode. I cranked out Toothless, which is, like, still to this day one of my favorite things I've ever made. I had a problem with worrying about it. My anxiety was telling me for a very long time, fuck it, I'm going off the script, this is boring. My anxiety was telling me for a really long time, like, oh, you peaked at Toothless, and for a long time I, like, believed it. But thankfully, anxiety is bullshit, don't listen to it. I have since then topped it, so I'm happy about that. But I remember I was like, this is it, this is the peak of my career. But most importantly, January, after a very long year of a lot of pain, a lot of confusion, a lot of self-hate, I kind of figured things out, finally accepted, and came out that I am non-binary. And I just remember, like before I did it, I was like, oh, tomorrow you don't do it. Tomorrow you're going to change your mind and be like, oh, sorry guys, I'm not actually non-binary. Or, like, next week you're going to regret it because you feel different. But here we are, fucking a year later, and I feel the happier and more confident in myself than I've ever been. So thank you all for your support and accepting me like that. My fucking throat hurts. At the end of February, TFF in Dallas was going to happen, and I only live like an hour away from Dallas, so I had my eyes on it. And suddenly one of my online friends texted me that they were going to be going to TFF, and that I should meet them there. So I was just like, oh shit, I guess I do have to go. So I texted Gianni, who is at the time my best friend, an online friend, that lived in Northern California, like, holy shit, I'm going to a fucking furry rave, and he was just like, damn, wish I could come with you, and entirely jokingly, I was like, okay, bitch, come over then. And I was then met with, wait, I totally could. And we looked online, and we found out that a plane ticket would be $200, which to someone making a livable wage in California, something I can't relate to in Texas, is something that they were able to cover. So they came over. And something that he didn't know was that I had a crush on him for the past half a year or so. And I've had crushes before, specifically online. I was ready to have to put it away. But when he came, and I hugged him for the first time, and I saw him in my car listening to music with me, and I just saw, like, how he smiled when I would say hi to him, just little stuff like that. I realized, like, this is a lot more than a crush, and I cannot put this away like usual. So, oh fuck, god damn it. Well, it's dark now. I didn't know if I'd ever get to see him again when he left. And after he left, it was only a 2-day trip. It was like one of the most painful weeks of my life, probably. I realized I have no family in California. I didn't know if I'd ever get to see him again. It was like sheer chance that we met up. And, my heart, I realized I couldn't be with him. And my heart was, like, telling me, this is it. Like, you will never, like, anyone you meet after this will, like, be a compromise. Like, this is it. And I couldn't have it. So it fucked me up really bad for, like, a week. But at the end of the week, I realized I put aside my personal rule that I couldn't get into long distance because I, like, thrive off of physical attention. And I told him how I felt. Fully ready to put my feelings away, just wanting to clear it, wanting to get it off, and he reciprocated. And since March 8th, I started dating, like, the most amazing person that's ever come to my life, and because of his love, this nightmare year was so much easier, and so much more wonderful than it really easily could have been. April through June, I didn't really remember much at all happening. At the start of August, Jack and I, who was back then my best friend, we had a very bad fallout. and our friendship very abruptly ended. I'm not going to get into that because out of respect for his privacy, I have no reason to. But it was something that really hurt me for most of the month, and it changed the way that I think about and deal with friendships. In the end, it was good, I think a learning experience about the kinds of people I want to keep in my life. Later in August, I remember seeing that Fraxium was doing some online rave thing with a bunch of smaller electronic artists playing, and I just remember getting really sad, thinking, I have absolutely no idea how to get into this scene that I think I would fit inside so well and thrive in. I felt like a nobody. It is also very important to mention that for more than, the whole first half of the year, I was a complete nobody. MailPup had maybe 6 monthly listeners and was completely stagnant for months. It felt like genuinely nobody cared about my art outside of my immediate friend circle, and it hurt. I tweeted some stupid vent about my art outside of how my art was not being noticed, and how I have no idea how to get into this whole online rave thing. And out of nowhere, some people that were in Fraxium and Guppy's server somehow, by some miracle, found my tweet, and they invited me to this thing. It was this thing they were building, Avenue Collective. They were going to do Minecraft concerts, and they have grown from that little offshoot of the Guppy server to being something that has headlined Neil Cicierega, which is fucking insane. But they let me perform at Hyperspace Fest. It's one of the most fun experiences of my life. I'll never forget it. And since then, my fan base has seemed to start exponentially growing, and I'm so grateful to Avenue for giving me a chance to be a part of their festival, to show people what I've got. In September, I got pneumonia. Absolutely no idea how, but it was horrifying, because pneumonia's list of symptoms is pretty much identical to COVID's list of symptoms. I ended up going to the ER because I had a fever that didn't go away for 3 days in a row with Tylenol. They tested me, they said I don't have COVID, thank God, but I had pneumonia. They gave me a very powerful steroid. The same steroid that Trump got when he got COVID, and everyone was worried that he was going to go insane, fully insane, if you remember that shit. And the side effects on this medication literally had psychosis, swelling, depression, anxiety, anger, acne breakouts. So for a lot of September, I was in a horrible fuzzy blur of feeling disgusting and hateful, somehow being convinced I would never heal and I was going to die soon. My acne just completely disgusting. It was not a fun time. And the rest of the year is honestly just kind of a blur. Holidays, making music, killing time, so much time, finishing class, college, and the fucking insane election and the aftermath that's still going on right now made it an incredibly hectic and eventful time. It was stressful, it was overwhelming, but not necessarily too bad. I also started on election night out of sheer chance during a random conversation about Japanese CD packaging, a band with one of my best friends, Harrison, called smile.pog. I'm extremely excited to see where it takes us and where it goes. We're hoping to release our first album late next spring, and our first single within the next few weeks. I'm really, really excited about it. Now, you might have noticed I've been saying best friend a lot. That's a really weird, uncomfortable signifier of how deeply changing this year was for me, and how many connections I've both had ripped apart and gained at the same time. And luckily, Harrison is an incredibly nice person. They treat me kindly, with respect for my feelings, and I have no plans on changing the connection that I have with them anytime soon. I also have Ethan, someone I've known since high school, who's going to be my future roommate, and I'm really excited about that. I'm really, really excited about that. But, I can't even really say best friend anymore to anyone, because, throughout this year, I've weeded out my circles so much, and I've really only kept, a few amount of people that genuinely care about me, so all of my close friends, in one way or another, are best friends, and I'm very grateful for them. I'm done. I want to put away my lifelong tendency of, hyperfixating on one best friend at a time. So now, here we are. It's the end of the year. My God, I need water. My throat is not designed for this shit, but, yeah, here we are. In February, I'll be moving into my own apartment for the first time. I've got so much planned to release between Mealpup, Sell the Dog, PC Deer, smile.pog, Alkali Ether. I'm really excited for the next year and to see where my music will go. I've gone from being like a complete nobody to someone with a very small but very dedicated fan base this year, and I'm more grateful than I could possibly put words to. For most of my life, I've never really, like, outside of my family, of course, had praise. I was like the weird kid in high school. Nobody really knew me or what I did. And honestly, for the most part, I didn't really do anything. I was kind of just existing, being like all whatever. Just that weird kid. And honestly, like, this year, starting to actually get so much love and attention, and then for me and the things that I'm doing, it's just, oh my god. Like, I've always said that my biggest dream is to positively impact people's lives with my art, and I can honestly see it happening. Even though it's at a small scale, it's still happening, and it genuinely makes everything worthwhile. It's genuinely, like, insane for me to think about, and I can't process it yet. I want to thank everyone. I mean, even though it's like a small fan base, it's happening. It's small, but it's happening to some scale. Like, my art is helping some people, and it's, holy shit. Like, thank you. I'm so happy I could be a part of your life like that. I want to thank people. I want to take this time to, like, thank you guys directly. I want to thank you all. Thank you to the people who have consistently gotten everything I've released on Bandcamp. Like, the frequent supporters, that's insane. Thank you so much for that. It means the world to me. Thank you so much to all the people that are, like, on every single one of my videos with a nice comment. That's, like, crazy dedication. Thank you for that. I see you all and I love you. Thank you for the constant support. Like, even, like, little shit like that, like, nice little comments. Like, that's knowing that people are out there seeing what I'm doing to any extent. Like, if they're liking it, like, I'm succeeding. Thank you. That's why I do it. I mean, just thank you to people who enjoy my music, honestly. Just, that's the best way to put it. Just thank you all. I love each and every one of you guys, and I'm so thankful for your support. I mean, going from someone that didn't really do anything and didn't really impress anyone to someone whose music is, like, genuinely helping people's lives is something I'm not used to yet, and I have to work on processing it. But I'm so happy, so honored, so grateful that it's happening. I really love you guys. I'm really excited for the new year. I hope it treats us all well. It's fucking terrifying to think about after this year. And I hope to see you all right there alongside me as I continue the next step of my musical journey. Thank you all for listening to this long-ass ramble. I just wanted to get it off my chest. I wanted to recap the year I had, but, like, above anything else, I really did this because I want to personally thank you all for your support. And the script is over. This is, like, I'm going completely over time at this point, but, like, just, I can't believe what's happened this year. It's just, I'm gonna ramble too long, I'm sorry. Just thank you. You guys really have no, I mean, maybe you do have an idea, it's a stupid thing to say, but you just, like, there's no way I could, like, possibly describe or put to words, like, how much it means to me that we're all here, that we're all together, that we're supporting each other. And I want to keep doing this. I have no other plans in life, literally. I want to keep doing this, like, until the day I die. I'm going to be making music. I'm going to be creating content for you guys. That's all I want. It's all I want. It's all that, like, fulfills me. And thank you. Thank you for letting that passion be real. I love you all so much. I'll see you next year.